So picture this, the Winter Olympics in Cortina d'Ampezzo. What was supposed to be just another curling match completely blew up into one of the biggest controversies of the entire games. Seriously, we're talking cheating accusations, a super tense standoff, and some language you really don't expect to hear out on the ice.
And it all just exploded with this, a raw, uncensored comment broadcast on live TV that basically took this quiet game of strategy and turned it into a full-blown international incident. So, how in the world did we get here?
All right, so the scene was set for an absolute classic. You've got two of the world's biggest curling powerhouses, Canada and Sweden, facing off. I mean, these teams have a massive history, and you know the Olympic pressure cooker was just on full blast. But this time, that rivalry was about to overshadow absolutely everything else.
If you just look at the scoreboard, Canada won the match 8-6. But that final score, it quickly became nothing more than a footnote. The real story wasn't about who won or lost. It was about an accusation that called the very integrity of the game into question.
Okay, so the whole thing ignited when Sweden's third, Oscar Eriksson, accused Canadian curler Mark Kennedy of a double touch. Now that's a huge no-no. It's an illegal move where a player's hand touches the body of the stone after it's been released. Eriksson was absolutely convinced he saw it, and he was even ready to pull up video evidence to prove it.
What happened next was this direct, fiery confrontation right there on the ice. I mean, the accusation didn't just hang in the air. Nope. It led to an immediate and really heated exchange between these two elite athletes, completely shattering that typical calm you expect in a curling match.
And Mark Kennedy, he did not hold back one bit. He flat out denied the cheating claim, and his now famous "you can f*** off" line was his way of drawing a hard line in the sand. This wasn't some quiet disagreement, you guys. This was a very public, very passionate defense of his reputation.
You know, what's so fascinating about all this is how much it just clashes with curling's whole identity. This is a sport that's literally built on sportsmanship, on respect, and a super strict code of etiquette. Players usually call their own fouls, so this public fight was a total departure from that norm, and it sent absolute shockwaves through the curling community.
So, to really get why everyone was so worked up, we need to understand the rule at the center of it all. Let's break down what a double touch violation actually is.
It's actually pretty simple. Once that stone leaves the curler's hand, you are only allowed to touch the handle up until the hog line. Touching the main granite part of the stone, even for a split second, is a violation because, well, it could potentially change the stone's path or its speed. And this shows the difference perfectly. On the left, that's a legal delivery. The hand is only on the handle, but on the right, that's the alleged violation, the hand making contact with the granite stone itself after the release. It's a super subtle but absolutely crucial distinction.
Okay, so here's where technology is supposed to come in and save the day. Modern curling stones have these electronic handles that are specifically designed to detect violations. You get a green light for a clean release and a red light if there's a foul. It was literally supposed to eliminate this exact kind of debate.
And that leads us to the million-dollar question, right? If an illegal touch actually happened, why didn't we see a red light? The electronic handle didn't signal any kind of violation, and that discrepancy just added a whole other layer of confusion and fueled the debate even more. Was the tech glitchy, or did nothing happen at all?
With all these accusations flying and tensions just soaring, everyone turned to the officials. So let's dive into how World Curling, the sport's governing body, stepped in to try and manage all this fallout. This table really breaks down their response perfectly. So for the play itself, officials watched the next few ends like a hawk and said they found no violations. For the language, Kennedy got a verbal warning but no suspension. And as for using video replay to check, nope, not used.
And that's the crucial thing here. Unlike a ton of other sports, curling does not use video replay to overturn the on-ice decisions. The officials' calls are final, period. Now, this rule is there to keep the game flowing, but man, it became a huge source of frustration for anyone who thought video would just settle the whole thing once and for all.
Of course, an incident like this didn't just stay on the ice. It spilled over into the stands and all over the internet. And it ignited this massive,
passionate debate among fans, commentators, and even other players. And the whole debate kind of split into these key questions. Was this a deliberate attempt to cheat or just an accident? In a game of inches, does even a tiny touch matter? And maybe the biggest question of all, does this whole mess prove that the rules around technology and replay just need to be updated?
And then the plot thickened. This whole thing wasn't just isolated to the Sweden match. Reports started coming out that the Swiss team had also raised some concerns about Canada in a different game. Again, no formal penalties were ever given, but it definitely added another layer of suspicion for some people watching.
So, when you look past this one superheated match, what are the bigger implications of all this for the sport of curling?
At the end of the day, I think this whole controversy is just a stark reminder of the incredible pressure these athletes are under at the Olympics. I mean, when national pride and a gold medal are on the line, even in a sport that's known for being so gentlemanly, that intensity can just boil over, and it can turn rivals into straight-up adversaries.
Which really leaves us with the central question, doesn't it? Do you see this as just passion boiling over in a high-stakes game, a pretty natural part of elite competition? Or did the accusations and the language on the ice cross a line into unsportsmanlike conduct, maybe damaging the spirit of the game? It's a debate that really gets to the very heart of what we expect from our athletes on the world's biggest stage.